Hello, denizens of the universe. This is the Romance Scrooge, and joining me today is...
S.R nobody.
And... my brain's blank. Have some pleasant ambiance playing there in the background. Too bad you don't get that kind of fare in elevators.
Today's background music is Beethoven's Symphony No. 3 in E-flat major, Opus 55.
I can just imagine Commander Peeper setting some kind of classical music or some Beethoven as the elevator music when watchdogs go up and down in that giant, or up and down in the skull ship.
And then Hader gets in and it's like, what is this? I can't rock out to this. Goes to the watchdog in charge of the music in the elevator and play this. And it's like one of his mixtapes.
Oh no. And let's say that he happened to grab the mixtape that he made when he was trying to get over Dominator, and it's all these really sad, sappy songs, and some are rock songs, but there's one boy band song in the mix.
Disco girl.
Shining through, that girl in you. Conspiracy fan theory. Dipper and Lord Hader listen to the same music. Confirmed.
Well, both are massive dorks.
Indeed they are. Panama Girl? I've never heard of that song. The first thing that came to mind when you mentioned that, Tristan, is classic... Yeah, the girl from Ipanema. That's practically one of the staples in any smooth singer's list of songs they got to cover at some point. Lou Rawls, Michael Bublé, anyone going into that kind of genre of music, they're bound to cover the girl from Ipanema.
I think and it's used in almost every elevator scene in any movie or TV show. I think the only one that it's not used in modern cartoons is probably Phineas and Ferb, because they created an elevator song.
Oh. I didn't realize that was a classic go-to elevator theme. Shows how much attention I pay to things.
Well, it's just one of those background things you don't really notice until you pay attention. Kind of it's kind of like noticing all those Wilhelm screams.
The Wilhelm Warbler.
They're annoying and everywhere, but pretty much harmless.
Also, sorry to disappoint, Tristan, but I haven't seen Victor and Valentino yet.
I have.
What were your thoughts on it?
It is very Gravity Falls-esque. It's basically Gravity Falls meets the Book of Life. Since, the premise is that you've got Victor and Valentino, who are stepbrothers living in this town, which is pretty much there's no one really, well, I guess to save money for the budget, because since it's a short, there's no one really around. And I think it's Victor. Yeah. basically they're selling tacos on the street, and then they get into a bit of a food fight, and then shenanigans causes them to start chasing a undead looking dog or chihuahua, which leads them into the land of the dead. And they have to try and get out of a maze before time runs out.
Darn it, I should have kept watching. I love that kind of thing. One of my favorite episodes in El Tigre when it was still on the air was when Manny and Frida go to the land of the dead and they meet some of Manny's relatives and such. They meet the original El Tigre and then at least 3 or 4 other greats before Grandpappy and White Pantera. I need to go back and rewatch that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Victor and Valentino as a series, though I pretty much don't think that it would last long, and mostly in a sense of I don't know how much they could necessarily do with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is a real shit. I don't know. It's like, I guess, same thing with my thoughts on Infinity Train, in that both Infinity Train and Victor and Valentino probably would work best as like a mini series with a set beginning, a middle, and an end. No need to have to worry about whether or not they're gonna get another season. Just tell a story and be done with it. Yeah, that's one of the good things about Over the Garden Wall.
It's interesting just how many Cartoon Network shorts kind of fit into that particular setting of this idea would work better as a condensed set of episodes or a more condensed series rather than something that's ongoing or something that isn't going to get enough seasons to tell a cohesive story, or what's going to happen once it reaches the first benchmark of season 1's done. Is it going to get a season 2?
I think one of the only shows that between the 2 miniseries that Cartoon Network's done, I think the only one that actually could work as a series is Long Live the Royals.
Oh yeah, that one fits pretty well in the interesting kind of format Toons seem to be going in recently. Just that amorphous space between there's some continuity, yet it's still kind of episodic.
Well, and how to phrase it? I guess a good thing for cartoons should really strive for nowadays is it's like, if you're not going to have a continuous story, then at least have some form of continuity, which is actually becoming more commonplace.
True that. Also, Observer, I've seen maybe the first and halfway through the second episode of RWBY Volume 4 so far, and that's it.
I'm up to Volume 3, but only because Volume 4 is locked behind membership.
How much is membership for that site?
Not sure. I'll do a quick check.
Okie dokie.
Well, they have a free trial, but I'm not sure how much the membership is. How much is it? Click, click, click. Oh, plans start at $3.33 a month.
Sorry, man. I'm not paying that just to watch one series.
Yeah, I'll wait. I mean, I'll buy the DVDs, but $4 a month for just one series.
I guess I'll just frame it like this. Probably going to be waiting until the entire series is done before I throw down the money to watch it. Heck, when I was watching through RWBY in the first place, I pretty much was able to blitz through the entire series on YouTube. Pretty much had been finished by then. Some series I just prefer to take that particular kind of approach.
Yeah, I tend to, like, if I have to form an opinion or something, I tend to let the season or the series end before actually commenting, because I don't know if it got better or if it got worse.
Well, if you're commenting on it as a qualitative whole, that's definitely the best kind of approach. Considering what kinds of videos I make, I can get away with commenting on an episode-by-episode basis, because it's usually fan theory stuff or ridiculous psychoanalysis of, this is what happened with this character, and this is how this plot thread affected this character. So, really depends on what you're going for in regards to discussing the series as a whole. If it's a review, yeah, wait for it to come out. Or wait for the entire thing to get done.
I'm gonna quickly check their YouTube, see if it's up on that. I doubt it, but
Probably not. Oh,
an hour long of relaxing, calming Nintendo music.
what?
My front page. There's an hour and 15 minutes of relaxing and calming Nintendo music compilation.
I dig it.
Yeah. Okay. Just trying to get at the food. It's the bow tie noodles with chicken and cream of mushroom and all mixed together.
That'd be a pain in the rear if it fell on the floor. Be a pain to clean up.
Yeah. I'm almost done with my bowl of it. Nope, the episode's not up.
I hear you on how irritating pets going after food can be. What I find funny is that whenever my dad sits down to eat, both dogs, we have a couple of tiny dogs, a Cairn Terrier and a Chihuahua Shih Tzu mix. They both climb up onto the footstool. One dog sits on his lap. Actually, as soon as he gets home and sits in his chair, she just sits on his lap the entire evening. But that's a different story altogether. Major Laser. What's that?
Major Laser.
That sounds like the name of a one-off villain in some kind of...
Sounds familiar.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll just do a quick...
I looked it up, and apparently they're a music group? Oh, an American electronic music band. Huh.
Boogie, get off my desk.
Oh, the latest RWBY episode is on YouTube? Huh. I don't know.
It wasn't whenever I looked at it. I'll double check though.
Maybe
To my
something
history.
else. I may be missing context here.
Let's see. The latest one I have up is chapter 3.
Oh. Yeah, number 4 is behind a paywall.
Yeah, that won't be available till at least tomorrow.
Oh, Major Lazer apparently has a tie-in animated series. I haven't really seen that, but I'll have to add it to my ever-growing list of stuff to sit down and watch. Just for the record, even people who know me personally have to pull teeth to get me to watch something. Episode, volume, and chapter are in regards to RWBY. It can get a bit convoluted and confusing depending on blah. Okay, I think S.R had to go take care of his cat.
Yeah, they want food.
Cats want food! That's what I'm going to title this one. Cats want food. They want it now.
Better to get it out of the way now.
What ships are you cooking up? I recently got commissioned to discuss Scott Pilgrim and Kim Pines from Scott Pilgrim. In regards to other ones I have slated for the Shipping Corner series, I have a list somewhere. Lincoln and Ronnie Ann from The Loud House was the most recent one I had on that list. Trying to remember who else I had on there. Probably not going to cover every single one on this particular list. Oh yeah, I also had Goliath and Elisa. I need to get to that one. Those two I can definitely confirm are going to get a video of some sort. I also said that I'd return to discussing Starco because, yeah, stuff's been happening in Season 2. But the way things have been going, I swear it's kind of a stop-start thing. Because when Sleepover came out, hey Scrooge, discuss Sleepover. The new episode coming out, I know somebody's going to ask me to talk about it. So I don't even know if I'm going to make a follow-up Starco video now. Because I'm practically covering all the biggest points that I'd be discussing at the end of Season 2, right when they come out.
Well, I guess I think that could be done as like a general thoughts. And then after Season 2, give a more in-depth idea. Or in... Yeah. Words.
Yeah. Probably gonna go for that route.
That's kind of how I based some of my recent Star Versus theories. It's like I had the suit theory, and then like the lineage, and then as soon as Page Turner came out, I was like, well, strike that. Let's set up a new one.
The way things are going, there's probably going to be a couple more overhauls to the theories at that. Really like the new one you came out with, though. There's definitely a pretty consistent basis for that.
Yeah, the whole suit lineage thing. I think that's probably one of the only theories from Into the Wand that survived Page Turner.
Segment dedicated to the wackiest fan comics of a certain ship. For some reason, I'm gonna pass on that idea to someone else who has this broadcaster voice and like charisma and personality to him, who could do a much better job than that. I swear I talk about these guys all the time anymore, but this other podcast I do, they are so great at doing rip tracks type stuff. And just, I keep telling them, make a rip tracks for Ladybug, but god damn it.
Which, speaking of Ladybug, it's not really not necessarily related completely, but I'm doing a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Moon, and I recently caught a cutie fly and named it Alia.
Nice.
This season 2.
Oh.
I'm on Google. I'll look it up.
Here's an interesting question. How do you feel about RWBY music? There's some tracks I really like. A couple that stand out. Can't say that I've really kept particularly avid tabs on it, though.
Okay, May next year.
The next season for Ladybug.
Yep.
These year-long hiatuses between seasons for shows are killing me. Lady Noir shippers are going nuts. Don't disappoint them, show. Don't drag it out for another season. No. Will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? No, just have the leads kiss already and move on to the interesting stuff, which, I'd like to know a bit more about the Kwame and who else is going to give them, or who else is going to get them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where supplemental material would be nice, even if it's non-canon stuff. It'd be just nice to have, just to kind of like to buffer between seasons.
That would be pretty fun. There's definitely a lot of potential. That'd be a great time to come out with a tie-in comic or something, and maybe expand a bit more on the characters' backstories. Maybe, or actually, if there's something that I'd be interested in seeing, maybe a comic sort of introducing how Chloe and Adrian first met, or what their friendship was like when they were kids. Because that's a plot point that was introduced early on in the show, but is yet to be followed up on.
If anything, that'll probably be soda syrup. That'll probably be brought up whenever, if Chloe does get the B Miraculi. It'll probably be brought up then.
She's gonna get that. It was spoiled. They have a design and everything.
No.
No.
It's a character that I do not believe deserves a redemption arc.
I'm actually really curious to see where they'd go with the redemption arc for Chloe, because the past couple of similar characters are ones that she's generally compared and contrasted with. Pacifica Northwest from Gravity Falls and Diamond Tiara from MLP FIM. Both of those characters, they have the cop-out of their parents raised them to be snot-nosed brats, and they had to rebel to show what they're really like. They genuinely want to be nice people. Chloe, she's just a brat. She's just mean. It'd be interesting to see her really wanting to turn over a new leaf or really change her behavior of her own accord, and you don't have the cop-out of the quote-unquote evil parent.
Yeah, because the mayor dad's not really evil. He's just a politician who's kind of controlled by his daughter.
Oh, yeah. She walks all over him like a rug. In regards to RWBY Chibi, you predicted right, The Observer. No, I have not seen it.
I have. Well, if you're sad about Pyrrha's death, then RWBY Chibi is the place to go because Pyrrha's in it.
Yet another thing to add to my list of stuff I need to watch.
I just love the episode when she's first introduced because, like you see Team RWBY just hanging out in the quad, and then John rolls up and is like, "Hey guys, look who I found!" And then Pyrrha walks into the screen, just like, "Hello again." Which then Team RWBY's kind of freaking out, like, "Look, wait a minute, Pyrrha, how? But didn't you?" And Nora like interjects, like, "Nope, it didn't happen." But I saw it. Nope, it didn't happen.
Full edgelords. That's a good way to describe what happened with Volume 3 of RWBY and the dramatic tone shift they went for.
Yeah, with the RWBY Chibi, like every character, although every character gets a Chibi version, except strangely for Penny.
Seriously?
Yeah, they don't have. Well, most of the adults don't have one. I think the only adults that they have Chibi forms for is Cinder, Torchwick, the old man who runs the dust shop, and I think that's it. Although Torchwick's awesome in it. I love the floor is lava episode. Torchwick, I know we don't get along or see eye to eye, but you have to believe me. You can't come in here. The floor is lava. Oh, come on, with all these child games. That's it. I'm coming in there and I'm gonna get my revenge. No.
Tristan, why? Gah! And I think in a previous podcast, somebody went to the extra length to make puns about Yang's missing arm. Gah! No!
I think that was me.
You are evil! You are evil! Evil, 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 evil.
Evil! Evil!
Every villain is limits. What was that ridiculous acronym for SpongeBob again? I don't remember.
Every villain is lemons.
Okay, yeah, I had it right then. Yes.
Well, the puns help. Well, it helps some people.
Okay, Tristan, I like that idea. I hope that that's a thing. just for playback purposes, going to read Tristan's comment here. I'm pretty sure Penny will be back, fully upgraded for Volume 5, this time called Nickel. God! I found a nickel.
I shall call
named
him
it
Philip.
It's a girl nickel. God. Speaking of horrible things, I just found an interesting Star versus fan theory about Marco. I'm going to link it. Just as a TLDR type of thing, this person is suggesting that Marco acts more mature or feels more like a parent because his parents, if you see, every time you see him on screen, they're pretty cheerful and bubbly and pretty much carefree. He's the only one that really seems disciplined or makes a point of being more disciplined anyway. And the suggestion is, what if Marco was a quote-unquote happy accident? Crickets.
I'm just reading the whole thing. Yeah, it seems plausible. I doubt they tackle that on a Disney show. But stranger things have happened.
It's
including
surprising.
Stranger Things.
It's surprising what certain cartoons have been able to get away with. They could probably cover this in the background of things. Technically, Star Versus does have an openly gay character in Starfan 13.
Yeah, I was surprised with that.
I guess they got away with it because she's a secondary character.
That and a lot of probably if anyone complains, it's like, well, I mean, she's a super fan. You know how those super fans are. Stop writing angry letters.
God. The red tape that people, or rather cartoon writers, have to cut through in order to have a gay character. God forbid, if somebody wants to include a gay character in a cartoon, they should be able to.
And then you have Steven Universe.
Oh no, bringing up the monster arm. Fan fiction is horrible no matter what the show is. I guess if anything though, every other episode of Star Versus just gives extra fodder. I'm a horrible person.
I think if I remember right, that's how one of the Star Versus theories for one of the early Headcanon Hives ended.
Yes.
Just ended with jokes about that.
Yes. Zone Tan. Okay. Moving on.
Cut print. Plastic chair. Hey, it found a penny.
I agree on that.
I'm going to say that particular Star Versus link for later. I don't think I'm going to be linking it to a couple of my Skype buddies, though, because just... yeah.
Know your audience. Oh, that's right. That's what that paper is.
Many salutations. Your lucky find is speaking to you, SR.
Not only that, but I found two more.
Our Powell, I don't know if Starfan 13 would be a would be a particularly good fit for Star, just because she's so eager to emulate her in just about every way, and dresses like her, and is just an eager to please kind of person. That's not really a good complementary personality to Star. Star does not need a yes man. She needs someone that's a bit... Okay. I don't really want to go so far as to describe what would... Okay. Out of the cast, I ship her with Marco and Jana. Jana, I don't know why. Jana would be a pretty bad fit too, because she encourages Star to go for the wrong choices or just bad influence on her. It's in the same kind of vein that Frida was to Manny in El Tigre. But okay, yeah, that's probably why I like it.
Yeah, with the...
I know it's a joke. I was just taking it out of context or blowing it out of proportion. I do that sometimes. Mama Cinder fan art. Oh boy,
those are pretty funny. I especially like with like.
I'm looking this up.
What's oh yeah, and then like Grandma Salem. pretty much what the premise is just like Cinder with like a baby Ruby. It's like it's just general cuteness and fluff, like Cinder taking pictures of Ruby in like a Beowulf Grimm onesie.
How the hell did this become a thing? And why didn't I know about it sooner? I love this.
And then like the one with Salem, someone theorizing that it's like wait a minute, I thought you hate her. Why would you be spoiling her? Of course, it's because of that I'm spoiling her. I'm spoiling her rotten. Salem, no.
This version of Cinder has so much more character than what the one in show does.
Although Cinder and Ruby Chibi has more character. All my evil plans destroyed. Curse you, adorable corgi.
Is she played up as a more generic one-note kind of villain there?
She's played more like not Skeletor levels, but pretty close.
Oh yes!
Because like at one point they're in the room and Cinder's got on a big chalkboard my evil plans written on it, and Ruby and Nora come in. It's like, hello, new friends. It's like, we're not doing anything evil. What? What is it that you want? Meanwhile, Cinder and Emerald are trying to hide the chalkboard. It's like, what is that? What is that you got behind you? Nothing. It looks like you've got plans. No. Yes. They are plans. For good. Like doing good things with kittens. Yes. And then Mercury walks in with a bazooka. It's like, Cinder, I got the kitten killer 5,000. Oh. Backs away.
Jeez.
And I just love that one joke with like Spy. Like he's sleeping, Ruby's just like, what a lazy dog. And then you see what he did beforehand, which was a whole bunch of stuff of saving people. And at one point, he's on top of a pile with like Cinder and her cohorts, and Cinder's just like, all my evil plans dashed, destroyed, defeated. Curse you, adorable corgi.
Welcome to RWBY. 40% memes, 5% fan fiction, 10% ship wars, 44% show 1%. I love that quote, Art Pal. Ship wars pretty much make up about 30 to 40% of any given fandom, though, don't they?
Well, it depends on the amount of characters or popularity of the show.
Yeah, I guess it depends. I've been in a couple of really small, obscure fandoms. Small enough to the point that you didn't see ship wars. They just didn't exist. There were so few people that there was bigger emphasis on, let's get the word out about our show. It is a much different atmosphere from something like when Wander Over Yonder blew up, or Steven Universe, or even Star Versus. Steven Universe is by far the biggest fandom that I participated in.
What is the smallest fandom I've ever been a part of? Well, the first thing that pops in my head is probably Randy Cunningham.
That definitely counts. I still need to sit down and check out that cartoon.
Which, as I say, it's good. It just give it a bit, and also fake slang and all that. Just take it with a bit of grain of salt, and don't really take too much stock in it. Although after enough viewings, especially marathoning it, it'll start becoming part of your vocabulary for a while.
Fake slang. That reminds me of some of my favorite World of Warcraft machinima from back in 2007, 2008. There was a series that Oxhorn made where the entire premise was, let's come up with some fake slang to get around Warcraft's ban on using actual cuss words or something like that.
Which technically they
the
didn't.
Exact premise.
Oh yeah, because it's like I remember that one. I just can't remember what the punchline was, because technically you could just turn off the maturity filter. I think the premise was like with the filter always on. Then I think the punchline was probably, why don't you just turn off the profanity filter? Wait, you can do that?
That's pretty good. I wonder what Oxhorn's been up to. I think he's still making. I think he still makes machinima every so often. Anyone here know about My Teacher's an Alien? My Teacher's an Alien. Is that an anime? Because I could have sworn there was some anime floating around where the premise is a new teacher comes to the school, a high school kid falls in love with her, and they have this kind of controversial romance or something like that.
No, Oxhorn's done.
What?
Oxhorn. He's done. No more. No more of them.
Yeah, I thought so.
Which is a real shame, because I think Oblivious Films is still going.
Darn it.
Which I also need to check to see if Chronicles of the Annoying Quest is still going.
I just turned 24. I'm starting to get why so many people my age say, I feel old. Ugh. God.
Now you know the pain. Chronicles of the Annoying Quest. Come on, Baka Savant.
Oh, the Teacher is an Alien is a book series. Huh. Okay.
Hmm. Alright, I'm gonna have to. Ugh. I hate it whenever series just drop.
Well, in Oxford's case, he got married and had a baby. So, yeah, it's understandable why somebody would retire or pretty much, why they'd retire an extensive YouTube project. With how much work and effort went into the machinima, especially later on with After Effects and such, I can imagine that was pretty intensive work, possibly 70-some hours a week.
Yeah, it's probably why.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's probably why I like Chronicles of the Annoying Quest so much, is because like the early season or the early parts of the show was basically just voiceovers on top of like game footage, and the writing was pretty good. Wait, you joined a celibate order for chicks? Celibate. What does that mean? You seriously don't know what celibate means? No. What does it mean? Oh, this is good. We got it. I love that running gag. Like every time they meet someone new and they tell them why they're on their quest, every time someone's like, wait, you joined a celibate order to get chicks? And because nobody will tell Ellers what celibate means, he is forever just like, ah. A division of gnome intelligence. Gnome intelligence. Sounds like an oxymoron to me. What? You know what oxymoron means, but not celibate?
Our pal, in regards to fanfics, are most fanfictions unfinished? They're either really poorly written, with lots of grammatical issues, Mary Sue's, or unfinished. But then again, if you look at most things, it's pretty much a bunch of crap. A sea of crap, with very few good things in between.
You gotta wade through it to find the gold pieces.
Pretty much. I hate to say it, cartoon guy, but I highly doubt that Starburst, Steven Universe, and whatever else are going to be the end of the feels train for cartoons. They're setting the precedent. We're going to be seeing many more cartoons going for hitting a person in the feels. Heck, there's been a couple of episodes of We Bare Bears. Bop! Right in the feels.
Yeah, Yuri and the bear. Oh, and then like the Gumball episode, The Choice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. That one got me. Gumball's really been hitting hard here recently, ever since Season 5 started. That Season 5 opener, that two-part opener, just so much meta, so much fourth wall breaking, and so much character building, and God! It just, if anyone's wondering what some of Gumball's big strengths are, or what some of the strengths behind the writing are, watch the Season 5 opener, the rerun.
I'm gonna have to look it up because like I've seen it, I just can't remember it.
read any Star versus fanfics. The last Star versus fanfic I ran into was one of those kinds that you consider the infamous in the fandom, like how Gravity Falls has Dipper Goes to Taco Bell. MLP has Sweet Apple Acres or Sweet Apple Massacre, somewhere between those two.
Cupcakes and Sweet Apple Massacre, which I've read both of them.
Oh, God. Well, for Star Versus, it's Coochie Coochie Coo. That is the last one that I stumbled across because I swear, you're more likely to get me to check out something if it's out of this perverted sense of morbid curiosity. I tried to sit through B-Movie the other day because I was curious as to what spawned the memes. That is what gets my butt in the seat.
Yeah, but with any, like, I don't know, I haven't read a fanfic in a while. I mean, the closest thing to a fanfic I've read is not read, but listened to, and that would be the Rainbow Dash Presents series from Flim Flam Philosophy, which their latest episode, The Star in Yellow, was pretty kind of creepy, pretty eldritch. Keep reading the book, please. I bet against the fire and I lost. You're free to go.
Star versus Wander. No, we're not shipping Star with the orange spoon. No. 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 There's already people that ship Star with Ludo. Stop.
Oh, that's the episode. Okay. Yeah, that was a pretty good one.
What?
The rerun. Yeah, the rerun episode.
Thoughts on Zadur. I don't really ship anything from Invader Zim. Mabel and Steven, I can kind of see that one working, to be honest. Kind of like the idea. Young Justice Season 3. I need to look this up. As a matter of fact, I am going to text somebody about this right now because they are a huge fan of Young Justice. I'm typing it into Google. I'm looking it up.
Well, as I always tell my brother, unless I see a trailer, I'm not believing anything.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put this on pause too. I haven't seen anything official pop up. The article I just clicked on, it has all those ridiculous miracle cure ads, or if the kind of ads that look like if you click on this, it's going to virus up your machine. So no, that is not a legitimate source. No.
Virus alert, delete immediately before everyone gets hurt.
Okay. Something else. Supposedly, Wanderer Brothers announced that... Why isn't there more official stuff about this? This is a... Okay, here... Okay. I'm just going to put that, or I'm going to shelve it for a second. I'm going to shelve that for now. Blood Rose is the Dipper Goes to Taco Bell of RWBY. Of course you had to tell me that, because now I'm going to sit down and read it.
Well, if it makes... I guess I'll... Hey! Cool. That's a cool new video on my feed.
What's that?
Pro Jared playing Pokemon, doing a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Moon. Everyone else is doing sun. Meanwhile, here I am with moon. But despite that distraction, I will find the video I'm looking for. Where are you?
Kylie, stop!
No.
No! No! Just no! Don't ship any of the Undertale peoples with the evil flower. No. 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 Quit trying to give me nightmares, please.
Good old
But it's too late for that.
Good old fashioned nightmare fuel.
I'm gonna end up looking up Blood Rose and regretting it the next day.
Well,
I
here's
work
something.
at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I'm probably going to end up checking out Blood Rose before I go to bed tonight. And it's all your fault!
Well, here's something that could probably counterset. After all, whenever I'd watch something scary when I was a kid, I'd always watch a comedy movie beforehand. So here is Flim Flam Philosophy's Rainbow Dash Presents Cupcakes. It is a parody. You cheat, Pinky. All I'm saying is it wasn't really that romantic. Come on, you gotta try even harder than that, Pinky. Go Power Rangers. Oh my gosh, how did you know?
Bill CypherX Discord. No! Just for the record, Kylie, I'm just giving everybody a hard time that's going to put something in the chat. I like to overreact to things on here.
I'm not overreacting. You're overreacting. The whole system's overreacting.
Why do people argue about ships, really? That is a good question. Even as somebody who gets really involved in, I like this person with this person. I like talking about hypothetical setups for which character is going to end up with who and intricately discussing their love life. I don't understand. I don't really understand people getting so involved in it that they're going to bite off somebody's head because, oh my god, they don't like something I ship, or
Well, it could be due to the person pretty much seeing a piece of themselves within a certain ship, and so getting personally offended whenever someone doesn't like a certain ship that they prefer, as though kind of a personal insult to them, them. So a majority of shipping hate or shipping wars could probably be condensed down to this ship is a bit of my personal identity, or what I view as a truly romantic scenario, or what I would consider pretty much an ideal romance, and anything that contradicts or says otherwise just doesn't fit with my worldview. And so some people just get offended with that and pretty much start lashing out.
Okay, that explains it a bit better. Don't get me wrong, I understand getting attached to a ship or something because there's something you personally like about it. That's the reason why Starco's my OTP right now, because I relate with the idea of those two getting together. But when it comes down to it, there's got to be some note of self-awareness in regards to there's got to be someone who likes Marco as somebody different, or who likes a different ship from what you're going to. And I don't know.
It's like there's a good deal of ships that I have that I know will never become canon, and so even though I like personally those ships for a good deal of personal reasons, I'm not gonna bite someone's head off just because, like, for say a couple of ships, just off the top of my head, White Rose, Mabifica, Star and Jackie. Thinking of a couple. Randy Cunningham and Teresa Fowler. Can't really think of anything else, but even though a majority of those will never become canon, I've come to terms with that, and I'm like, all right, well, at least I have the content that people who also ship that are providing. And so I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
So I guess some people just kind of get a bit riled up, and I don't know.
Jeez.
Uh,
Okay, I've seen a little bit popping up about Bumblebee and Black Sun shippers at each other. Is this roughly comparable to the? Okay, no, I don't think it is. But the other thing that's popping up, one of the most intense ship wars I've seen, Naruhina versus Narusaku.
yeah, well, it's like I'm a White Rose shipper, but one of the people on Tumblr who I follow, she does monochrome fan art. I'm fine with that. Like I'm not gonna rage against it, and I really like the art, even though it's not my ship. That's just their ship, and that's fine with me.
Oh boy, I'm glad I haven't really ventured too much further into the RWBY fandom if that's the case. That's part of the reason why I don't venture too far into any given fandom.
Well, she used to also do. She also
Somebody
She-
was saying that you couldn't go anywhere without seeing people arguing about Bumblebee and Black Sun.
only one ship, Highlander style.
Yeah.
There could only be one.
Also, PC, in regards to people being on Headcanon Hive, sometimes I have special guests pop up on here, but that's by special arrangement. I already have 3 co-hosts, and well, I'm not really looking for anyone else to come on as a extra co-host or anything like that. If someone comes on, or someone besides the usual setup, it's usually a special guest or something.
Katie,
Oh yeah, there was a new episode of Adventure Time.
can you do this?
Give me a second.
All right. Well, it's not on Kiss Cartoon yet. I don't know if I can do links or not. But as for the Sun X RWBY, let me check my follows. Where are you? Where are you? I know you're here. I know. Where's your picture? Not you. No. Yes, you. Okay.
Okay, back. Sorry about that.
Okay. I was looking for a specific Tumblr in response to the whole Sun X RWBY ship. There is a the artist that does the monochrome. She also does a few like ship children, and one of them she recently did was Sun and RWBY. I'm gonna try and find the images. Strawbana.
RWBY and Sun is a thing as a ship. I found out about their voice actors being married yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday, but I didn't know that people were actually shipping those two.
Yeah, people have shipped them since yeah, since season 1.
In regards to Atomic Puppet, I kind of watched the beginning and then I haven't really watched it since. I'm horrible.
No idea what that show is.
I think it's a newer Disney XD tune.
That probably explains it. Okay. All right. Post.
Hey Joe, fan service the animation. Wasn't that free? Very muscular men swimming, close-ups of their abs, homoerotic undertones. Woo!
Yeah, never saw it, but I did watch 50% Off.
What's that involve?
It's the parody of Free.
Oh.
That is, it's pretty funny. I like the joke with what's the character's name?
Oh, is this the anime with the focus on butts? I remember seeing a scene with the gals exercising their butts or something floating around.
Nah, that's different.
Oh.
Okay. I'm putting in a link. This is a link to. So the Tumblr, the person, they do a whole bunch of art, and they recently did a what they view what Sun and RWBY, what their kid would probably look like.
Oh, I'm gonna leave a link to this. This is the Sun and RWBY band kid design. Okay, here's an interesting question. What do you think of taking kid characters and making them older?
Isn't that what everyone does?
Pretty much.
Especially with like AUs or like post-show stories and fanfics or comics.
Oh, yeah. There was one about following the Hey Arnold cast as they grew a bit older, following them in high school. I don't think this particular person made a fan comic or extensive storyline based on this, but I liked a lot of their designs for it. Just some of the one-off pictures they'd make every so often. Huh. Day of the Barbarian, Emperor's New Skull, Recess. You just said down and watch through an episode of Atomic Puppet. I swear it's right up my alley with the goofball superheroes and stuff. One of my favorite cartoons of all time is League of Super Evil, just because of the campy villains and stuff. Just guess it just depends on the setting. I still need to check out Pen Zero too.
That's another show that is pretty good. I like the running gag in the world of stuffed animal, or the dimension of stuffed animals. The running gag in that is Penn keeps getting his arms ripped off. But because he's a stuffed animal, it doesn't hurt, and they just sew it back on. So, like, I think there was a joke at one point. The stuffed animal doctor's just like, I'm kind of running out of thread.
Oh, nice, PC. Send me a link to that when you got it done. I haven't seen Pen Zero, so I can't really say anything. One of my buddies is a really big fan of Sashi as a character, though. He just likes that really energetic action girl type character.
Yeah, Sashi's probably one of the better characters in a sense of, like, when I first started watching it, like, as soon as she, like, a few of her jokes and a few of her actions, my first response was, I like this character. I'm probably going to end up watching the entirety of the show just for this character. And then I watched the entirety of the show so far, and I warmed up on the entirety of it.
Samurai Jack's pretty much been in the dark since they showed some stuff at Comic-Con? There's only Comic-Con stuff?
Well, it's also probably Gindi not wanting to, like, put a whole bunch of information out there. I guess it's probably to keep things tight-lipped, so that way there's not a whole bunch of spoilers or anything.
That's true. I guess it just depends on who's holding the reins for a given show at a given time, how they approach releasing bits of information or going about doing so. What I find interesting is that for Star Versus, apparently there was a Danish voice actress who released a screenshot for Into the Wand about a week or so before the episode came out. Somebody brought up that Darren Nefsey might be taking those from Alex Hirsch, and I wouldn't doubt that, because there's an Easter egg in Into the Wand where Marco has a sticker for several times somewhere in his locker. Darren's taking those from Alex Hirsch. And I hope this continues. I hope that continues, because yes, that man knows how to stir people into a frenzy and get them thinking.
Yes, as Alex is leaving Disney Studios for the last time, he takes a quick stop to Darren's office. He says but a few words and then leaves. Darren remembers these words. These 3 simple words. Make them suffer.
That's coming next week.
And it's a mid-season finale, so blah.
There's more to go. Star Butterfly versus Amethyst. That's an interesting matchup right there.
Current star or season 1 star?
If it were that's a good question. Let's say it's season 1 star.
Star would probably be able to hold her own for a while, but I'd probably give this edge to Amethyst, mostly due to like 500 plus years of combat training.
Pretty much. I swear that pretty much be the case with any of the crystal gems and any kind of matchup you could come up with for them. That their experience would pretty much outwit or outmatch most of their opponents. The one crossover matchup I can think of where I'd make an argument for their opponent, somebody brought up Jack versus Pearl. Jack from Samurai Jack once. I'd give him the edge there, just because he has very, very honed skills with that particular samurai sword. The kind that he's able to stand up to a mythological creature, Aku, or that he's the biggest threat to Aku, and generally he can solve most of his problems just with how in tune he is with nature, his five senses, how skilled a swordsman he is. He'd at least put up a really good fight. Oh yeah, PC was the one who came up with that particular matchup.
Yeah, and like with Star, I kind of view her mostly as a glass cannon currently. Like she can dish out a whole bunch of damage, but I don't like. Okay, the Spider with the Top Hat episode kind of showed that she's not one for strategy. She mostly just throws things to the wall and sees what sticks.
That's pretty true.
And then, yeah, we'd have to wait for the wand to be completed before Season 2 Star can be on any kind of death battle. Because with the wand being cleaved and half of the power going to Ludo's wand, that pretty much leaves Star vulnerable for a short amount of time.
Pretty much. Speaking of Star's kind of impulsive approach to fighting and such, I want to bring up a point about the latest episode, Page Turner, with Glossaric going to meet the Magic Council and such, and him telling Moon she needs to figure out how to do this by herself. Moon described his teaching style with her as more straightforward and direct, but with Star, he's really vague and cryptic. It's kind of interesting to look at it from the perspective of he knows that Star is more of a hands-on person. She likes to try a bunch of different things and figure it out for herself, that she's a really abstract thinker, more abstract creative kind of person. Kind of interesting to think about.
Yeah, Glossaric more than likely knows that Star is the kind of person who you give her an order and she won't really pay attention or listen or care. But if you give her a riddle, she's gonna pretty much, that's gonna stick with her, and she's gonna try and she's gonna rattle around in her brain. She's gonna try and find it, especially if it involves Moon, and because a good deal of time Glossaric uses Moon as kind of a gauge for Star, in a sense of like, well, it's like, well, your mom could do it, but or it's like she didn't start this until that, and Moon and Star would instantly just be like, oh well, if she can do it, then I can do it, and would just start trying to perform the lesson or perfect it or whatever it needs to be done. So Glossaric knows what he's doing, and I still need to do a bit more research on the council. One of them, however, I've got almost pretty much figured out just at a glance. It's the other.
Which one is that?
The goat one. He tends to sound basically like his appearance is usually used in most Western forms of. I'm gonna check to see if the phrasing is correct. There's a certain demon.
Satyr?
Well, no.
Marco tried using Star's wand. After seeing how easily he got caught up in Queen Eclipse's dark magic at the end of Page Turner, I'd rather not know what would happen if Marco tried to use the wand. I think he'd be in the same camp as Lobster Claws. He'd just get overwhelmed and become corrupted by that sheer amount of power. That's actually kind of an interesting to think about. I'm going to shelve that for now and pick it up again later. Actually, I think I'm just going to go ahead and roll this out as a discussion topic on Monday. Oh, one of my friends is going to kill me. He is such a big Marco fan. Crackpot fan theories are fun.
Trying to do research is not so much fun. Trying to do on-the-fly research, ugh, not fun. Yeah, I'll do it later. But there's actually, no, there's a bunch of stuff in the way. In a few of the witchcraft books that I have, which I have not because I'm a witch, but due to studying it for better usage in story writing and stuff. Yes, I am the kind of writer that wants to understand every subject before putting a pen to paper.
Okay, PC, you got me. I don't know what would happen if Marco used a wand. Yeah, it is a gauge of personality. It changes depending on what a person's personality is like. I just kind of question how well Marco would handle magic. I guess I'll just leave it at that. I don't know.
Although mentioning lobster claws kind of got me a bit. An idea just popped right in my head. I'm going to quickly. No, images. Oh, where are you? Corrupted. Ah. Yeah, kind of. Just the more corrupted wand form for Lobster Claws whenever he was like evil looks vaguely. Let's look that up. That's not how you spell Eclipsa.
I've seen the theory about Connie possibly coming from a lineage of gem hybrid. That theory's interesting. That's as much as I'm really going to say about it, though. Not really going to give it a yay or nay.
That old theory? Yeah. Didn't that theory come up whenever Blue Diamond was shown?
Yep.
Although, speaking of Connie, I really like the fact that they planted the joke between Stephen DeMeo way back with Connie's mom. It's like, Connie, the Universe Boy's calling. I swear, that cannot be his real name. And then then fast forward to Gem Harvest. Adam DeMeo, Greg DeMeo, Stephen DeMeo. DeMeo's a way much better name than Universe. No, Stephen. No, it's not.
B-movie joke picture? Of course it caught my interest. Cartoon guy, you're pretty much spot on. Every other writer anymore drops some kind of ship bait into the show. Heaping hugs of ship bait. Jana, Marco, Jana, and Tom.
Yeah, the whole Jana and Marco thing kind of made me sad recently because, like, there I am just enjoying my day, and then suddenly the thought popped in my head, and I'm like, oh, I've made myself sad now.
Why?
Well, just her comments. It's like when you look at most of her comments whenever it comes to Marco. She shows that she's interested in him, but also a good deal of the comments, well, her being a bit creepy, but also her mentioning that she'll be there later, like her one comment in the
the comment about call me after your divorce, Marco.
Yeah, and then like even earlier than that, pretty much it's probably that Jana knows that she could not, that she probably, there's nothing really that she could do to get Marco over his crush with Jackie and focus on her. So Jana probably has already resigned herself to be the fallback. But now there's also Star.
Oh
So
God.
she's probably resigning herself even more to be the fallback.
Ah, jeez. I guess I never really stopped to think about that. When it comes to Marco's and Jana's interactions, I kind of chalked it up to she's screwing with Marco because he comes across as the kind of guy you can get a reaction out of pretty easily. There's some people that, for some reason or other, they like to pretend to flirt with people just to get a rise out of them, even though they're not really interested in them. Had a guy like that come on to me in high school and just, oh God, he was such a creep. But Jana, yeah, thinking about it, she doesn't quite come across as that brand of horrible person. Creepy, yes, but not cruel.
I mean, if anything, you could see Jana's interest in magic as possibly her trying to kind of be similar to Star in a sense, to try and stay on Marco's radar.
Maybe? That might be a secondary draw towards her interest in magic, though I could see her just being flat out interested in magic because of what mischief and otherwise she could pull.
You do all kinds of witchy stuff with it. Can I make my parents stop fighting? Probably. Yep.
In regards to Tom and Jana, I think there's a little bit of potential there. If Tom got a little bit more character development or something, I don't know. I just kind of like the idea of that kind of happening in the background or maybe just getting touched on.
I'll wait till character interactions.
Yeah. Thanks for joining, our pal. I better sign off here pretty soon myself. Gotta get up early for work tomorrow. PC. I'll admit that'd be pretty good.
What is this? Messing with Marco Day? No, it's messing with Marco Week. You got 5 more days of this, buddy.
Oh man. Is Jana Marco's stalker? I'm tempted to say yes to a degree. She's got some of the Helga Pataki infatuation things going on there. Like the whole hidden panel in the back of Marco's locker and stealing his wallet, knowing personal bits of information about him. What the hell?
Do I creep you out?
Yes! Yes, she does! And I absolutely love this character.
Although I think my favorite moment with her is it's like, you'll need me one of these days, Diaz. After all, I've got your house keys.
God. Jana really doesn't know how to flirt. Or her version of flirting. I would not want someone like Janet interested in me if it meant that they were going to scavenge for bits of personal information. I guess I'll frame it like that. Yeah. Oh, how did I miss this? Oh, God. Tragic backstory for Ronaldo. We don't see his mother, so I'm reckoning that she was the one getting into all the conspiracy theories out of fun with Ronaldo. Oh, man. No.
Is it like actual background or fan theory?
I think it's a fan theory, but my God. I could see the show doing that. I could see it doing so and it being a fairly heavy, well-orchestrated episode, if so. Definitely potential in the mother-son bonding kind of thing. Considering how the show likes to have plot threads or stories focusing on mother and child bonding, it definitely fit in with that kind of thing. It explained a bit why Ronaldo is still so gung-ho on the conspiracy theories too. I'm guessing there's another reason for what got him into it, but yeah.
I just want to see a follow-up episode with Ronaldo where Stephen notices that he's become a sad sack. Like, what's wrong with Ronaldo? Mahime-sama.
There still hasn't been follow-up on that.
Just Stephen going, oh, that's right. I'm sorry about that, Ronaldo. Let me try and fix it.
God, those two need to get back together already. They barely had any screen time. Just come on, sugar woman. Give us the next best ship after Steven and Connie and Garnet. Well, canon ships anyway. Okay, it's tough to beat the big three. Garnet, Steven and Connie, Greg and Rose, the three big canon ships. Okay, it'd be tough for Ronaldo and Hime-sama to beat that out. Isn't her canon named Jane? Isn't her name Jane?
Who? Oh.
Ronaldo's girlfriend? Ex-girlfriend?
Yes. Yeah. Jane.
In regards to Jim's having depressions, yeah, Steven's been through so much that I wouldn't doubt that he's been finding ways to deal with his own, especially after Bismuth, the one-eyed RWBY, just, God. I'm glad Steven got a bit of a break. After all that stuff he had to go through, pretty intense roller coaster ride for what, a 14-year-old kid? My God.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of place for practically immortal beings falling into depression every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you've got pretty much eternity alone with your thoughts. Something's going to happen.
Fusion names should be their ship names, or is it... to be honest, I'm okay with separate names for ships in Steven Universe. Excuse me.
Makes things easier on the tags.
True that. Alright, here is a PC the Unicorn's fan fiction idea for a Marco and Jana fan fiction. I'm going to read it verbatim here. I had this crazy idea for a Marco x Jana fanfic in which she messed with the dimensional scissors and Marco tried to take it from her. and they end up in another dimension with the scissors being broke, and Janet and Marco being stranded there. Interesting situation. Definitely a lot of potential for the characters to bounce off of each other, or to kind of have Jana drop her facade, or them having a more serious conversation than they would in show. There's interesting potential there.
I mean, I can see it pretty much as an episode, but I don't think they would touch anything involving Marco and Jana in a more relationshipy wise thing until either they deal with Marco and Jackie Lynn or Marco and Star.
Oh, this is a realm of fan fiction, though. You can just
right, but
get away with shelving the Marco love triangle, love square, hexagon thing.
I guess that's probably one of the reasons why I don't write fanfics, because I always tend to think of things show-wise. And that's probably why the last time I wrote a fanfic, it dealt with secondary characters, and it was a parody of a parody of a parody.
Yeah, if you write fanfiction, it's a lot easier to do stuff with secondary characters or characters that don't really get much screen time. You have a lot more leeway if you like to try to keep things in canon with the show. Speaking of Marco love square kind of thing, no, actually, never mind. I'm kind of worn out on those kinds of jokes. Because I swear, that pops up every other week. Every other week with this with these couple of guys I talk to. Marco, Latino Heat! And if you know that particular reference, you get a virtual cookie. Eric, I am shilling your damn podcast on here! I am shilling your podcast! You better be happy, sir!
Shill faster!
Okay, here's an interesting comment from Tristan. What would happen if creators of Avatar got onto Cartoon Network? They certainly would be treated better. I'd have to agree there. It's kind of disappointing that Legend of Korra got the kind of cut off that it did. It was on TV, and then it got put online, and then just Nickelodeon's been pulling a similar stunt with Harvey Beaks. I saw some posts from the creator on Tumblr. He's been upset that Harvey Beaks hasn't been getting much airtime.
Yeah, my brother asked me once about when the next new episode of Turtles is coming on, and I told him I don't know, because when it comes to Nickelodeon, unless you're a sponge or a bucktooth kid with a pink hat, Nickelodeon does not care about you.
Fairly Odd Parents. It's degenerated into, let's adapt somebody's Mary Sue character into our show, except it's not going to be quite as well animated, well written, or whatever else. You thought Sparky was bad? Look at Chloe the Mary Sue.
Well, luckily new episodes of Turtles have been airing, and they have been pretty heavy. What with the Super Shredder and all.
Wow.
I mean, the best thing that came out of Nickelodeon removing Legend of Korra and moving it over to the internet is that it allowed the team to get away with a lot more stuff, i.e. Korosami.
That's true.
And the fact that one of the reasons why the comics is delayed, has been delayed, is because they're working on making the Korosami elements good. Since the comics take place like during their vacation in the spirit world. A bunch of RWBY puns.
Not enough symbol riffs to. No.
Yeesh.
In regards to the term Mary Sue, it is a term that gets slung around pretty freely and quite often. I get the impression that it's meant to say a character is way too perfect or has little to no flaws and just isn't fleshed out or very relatable. It's got this negative. Yeah, it is a pretty negative term to give someone, or to give a particular character. Because if someone just flat out labels a character Mary Sue, okay, I'll just go ahead and come right out and admit it that I called this particular character that, because she is not very... When it comes down to it, the universe kind of bends to her will. She's this Little Miss Perfect type character with little to no flaws. It's kind of coming from the position, what are you trying to do with this character? In Timmy's case, you have the average kid that has bad grades, kind of... There, you have an angle to go from. Chloe, it's really distorted. In regards to using the term Mary Sue, I'm tentative to say that for somebody's fan project or their original character or something. If I were really going to give them constructive critique, I'd want to steer them in the direction to where they'd write the character a bit better. You can have a character that's almost close to perfect or with godlike powers and still have them be an interesting character. Just depends on the setup of the universe you're writing or whatever else. There's lots of factors and circumstances at play. It's just, when it comes down to it, the essence of what makes a good character is how sympathetic they are, how believable they are to a reader, depending on the laws and such of the universe.
Yeah, my main issue is people throw the term Mary Sue at the wrong characters. And that's kind of sullied the term.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just... Mary Sues are just something that I try to steer clear of in either writing them or accusing other characters of being. Because, well, when it comes to other characters, I tend to let a show end a season or so just to see what the character goes through.
Oh no. Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way. From
I thought we danced with you.
the classic example of Mary Sue. My Immortal is such an interesting... is kind of an interesting topic. I remember seeing a Tumblr post framing just how fascinating this fan fiction is. It captures all of the most horrible cliches and parts of bad writing that were exclusive to early 2000s fan fiction. And it's packaged in such a way that you don't know whether it's legitimate or if it's parody. And just... it's such a fantastically, horribly written piece that it's ingenious in the way it's composed.
This that would be mid 2000s. Huh.
Anyone seen Trolls yet? Yes, and I was surprised by how decent it was myself. I was expecting just a mindless pander fest, but it actually has a surprisingly good core to it. I'm not going to call it fantastic or boundary breaking or anything, but it sits in that same kind of space is what the Lego movie does. It's not doing anything fantastic or groundbreaking. It's taking a fairly sort of a well-worn, expected kind of story, just playing it straight, but bringing in enough unique twists or ideas that it's interesting, that it's charming, and it's well done.
I haven't seen it. The last movie I saw was Doctor Strange, and the next movie I'll see is Moana.
Oh yeah, definitely want to see Moana.
Which I'm calling it now. Maui's arc is pretty much him dealing with being very attention-seeking. At least that's what it seems to be his arc will be, based off the song You're Welcome.
Huh. That'll be fun to see play out. Oh, thanks for bringing that up, Cartoon Guy. I knew there was a ship that I had on my list of topics to discuss. Nick and Judy is definitely on it. Damn it. I've just been swamped with hours at work, just kind of trying to figure out what would be a good balance between how much time I devote to working on videos and otherwise. So, yeah, may just go ahead and put Nick and Poppy as next to, or no, Nick and Judy. Sorry, slip of the tongue. Nick and Judy as the next ones up to that. Also, PC, yes, I ship that. Yes, I ship it.
To restart.
Yeah, like I said, that's one just.
What the?
It has begun.
That was ominous, sir. Yeah, you couldn't technically label that one as a crack ship since there's some ambiguity as to what those two's relationship is at the end of the movie. I kind of like to highlight it as there's something there, though. There's something there.
No, I think the crack ship they mentioned is Nick and Poppy.
Oh, damn it! God, this is gonna become a thing. Like every other thing that I hate everything says becomes a meme. In my case, every other character I mention, or somehow every other time I might do a live event like this, there's going to be some crazy crack shit that dovetails from it. Gah! By the way, Poppy and Branch are the protagonists in Trolls. Poppy is the happy pink one, and Branch is the kind of pessimistic one. Who would win in a fight, Nicole Watterson or Lord Dominator?
Nicole.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but Nicole would win that one. I really hate to say it.
Yeah, after doing a good deal of like character research for Lord Dominator to make sure I'm keeping her in character, or at least as close as character as possible, Nicole would easily win. Nicole's very driven, very focused, and a well-balanced fighter. Dominator is mostly raw power, energy, and a showboat.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, Nicole Watterson has gone through the most grueling training ever. She's raised 3 children and 1 husband.
I love that episode. That was definitely in my top 10.
Yeah, I keep meaning to rewatch because I like when it comes to top episodes, like top 10 or so. Well, I do top 12. I tend to want to do like per season. Like I've got a top 12 for Gravity Falls season 1, season 2, and I guess, and then I'm currently working on the Loud House one.
Okay. I'm probably going to be winding down here and ending this for tonight, so any last comments?
Yes.
Can't really think of the last comment, although I'm looking over and I see a bookmark that I need to finish due to a commission. Blast it all.
Just get the hat so we can go.
Ugh.
In regards to Snowbird, I like the idea of it, but Winter hasn't really gotten enough character development, neither has and Crow kind of been scattered here and there. I'd like to see a bit more on them before really saying anything beyond that. I definitely like the idea, just because it's an opposites attract kind of thing, or they have this ridiculous kind of rivals falling in love kind of dynamic. I am such a sucker for that one.
Well, I've seen screenshots from the newest episode, and it's got Crow and Raven talking.
Oh. Oh boy. Gonna be some Crow backstory there, apparently.
I don't know. I just know the joke someone made,
What?
like them talking, and it's like Raven. I'd like to discuss our family. All right. How about your daughter? Okay, we're done with this discussion. I mean, that's not the actual line, but that.
Quit quoting my immortal! No. No. As for Star Butterfly and Finn the Human, sorry PC, but I don't really I need to watch and see what happened after Finn got out of his relationship funk and losing his arm funk and all that kind of stuff before saying anything.
He's gotten better.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he's gotten better. He's more balanced now. A good episode to watch is the episode "The Hall of Egress." But there will be a Finn miniseries coming soon, and it involves him finding an island that has humans on it.
Holy crap! I need to get caught up on Adventure Time.
And I think if I remember right, it was said that the humans on the island are the humans Marceline helped escape in her miniseries.
Huh. To be brutally honest, if anyone ever wondered if a ship was a make or break thing ever for a series that I've watched, I kind of fell off of watching Adventure Time after Finn and Flame Princess broke up.
As in, like I have a joke, but it needs context. Was it like oh no, they broke up, that's it, I'm done, or oh no, they broke up, I can't think of the other example. I don't know. The joke is just like, you were the chosen ship. You were supposed to bring balance to the ships, not destroy them.
I've had a couple of discussions with a couple. I keep referencing this podcast, but there's been a couple of discussions where there's been comments about people disliking certain episodes because Star or one of the other characters acts in a certain way. One of the reasons why I stopped watching Adventure Time was in the same vein why somebody would be upset about an episode like The Foreign Exchange Student in Star versus the Forces of Evil. I am going to be such a hypocrite if I don't go back and give Adventure Time a chance and see how Finn's character development is turned around.
I'd at least recommend watching the Stakes miniseries.
I still need to watch that. God.
I mean, it mostly deals with Marceline and her backstory, but it's got Finn and Jake, and they're pretty good.
Definitely on board because it stars Marceline.
Yeah, it added a lot of bubbling shipping fuel.
Yes! I love that ship!
Which it's like, I started watching the show because of the Ice King and Marcy's backstory, and the bubbling ship kept it going.
Yes.
Although it's one of those ships where it's like, it's another one of those, I've accepted that it may never become explicitly canon. And so I'm just, well, I remember I actually yelled that one morning. Like one morning I was up and I was watching Cartoon Network, and an episode of Clarence came on, and in it was the episode where Clarence's teacher was going on a blind date, and she's at the restaurant, and there's a guy there that just entered, and first she thinks that he's for him or her, but then his date comes over and they do like the little air kiss cheek things, and in the background you hear Love, like the background singers kind of doing like a joking kind of thing, because his date was another good looking guy, and it's just like, love is love no matter what, and I'm just like, oh come on, Clarence can get a canon couple, but Adventure Time can't.
Yeah, I know. Clarence has gotten a couple in there. They had the gay guys going on a date, and then darn it,
Yeah.
I know this character's name, but
Jeff?
one of them, yeah, Jeff's moms.
Yeah, as soon as I first saw them like actually together, my first thought was, well, this episode's going to be banned, and this show's going to be canceled soon. But thankfully, it hasn't been banned, and this show's still continuing, and they're even showing the Jeff's parents a lot more often than I kind of thought they would.
That is great. I just love that.
Like they had an episode recently where Clarence is going along with Jeff and his moms to a retirement home to visit Jeff's grandma, who she's pretty much an older Jeff in a sense, and that's why Jeff likes her. And of course, her daughter, the let's see, not the redhead. Basically, she's kind of aggravated because the grandma's kind of overbearing and kind of a control freak. But yeah, it's meanwhile Clarence is making friends with a cranky old lady. Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. What should be the title for this one?
I thought it was Kitties Want Food, but if anyone can come up with a better idea, they're free to do so.
Okay.
Although as for cartoons, guys, comment on Mordecai and CJ or Mordecai and Margaret. I'm trying to watch regular show like watch all of it before the show ends. I'm currently on season 6. So currently the ships is Mordecai and CJ, which I like CJ. So I don't know. I'll have to get back on, or I'll just have to. I'll have to wait.
Okay. A couple of title suggestions. Show me your kitties and RWBY Shifts and Dips. What do you think, SR?
I have no strong feelings either way.
Personally, I kind of like the RWBY Shifts and Dips. Shipwrecks! Ships, and more ships. I'm sorry, but RWBY Shifts and Dips is...
I'll have to agree with PC at CJ having more character. It's because they had CJ introduced mostly as a friend for Mordecai. That seems to also be a girl. Might as well. Whilst Margaret was introduced as the crush, so we didn't get to know her any better other than the crush, but we got to know CJ as the friend.
Yeah, thinking about it, CJ definitely has much more definitive character, and there's a lot more emphasis on just how well she clicks with Mordecai and why they get along. I prefer that of the two ships, though, quite frankly, I'm okay with the show ending with Mordecai single. Just how that musical score ended right after that comment. Just
It is currently host, the planet's Opus 32.
nice. Stay with me? What song is that? Can I get a bit more context here? Is this a pop song
Or at least a singer. Also for PC, with that one list you said you were working on the cartoon songs. I did half of a post with some of my favorites. And I would look for it, but kind of, I don't know how long it would take.
Oh, we have another. I think we have some other recommendations for titles. I ship it like FedEx. My ship has sailed. I'm still leaning towards RWBY Ships and Dips.
Yeah, it seems to be the... yeah, it seems to be more one that just pops. Just
yeah, pretty much. Previous podcast names, when it started getting a bit more clever anyway. When a man loves a chainsaw, Stupid Sexy Peepers. Last week's was Infinite Trains, Ash Ketchum Aging, and RWBY. Oh my.
oh my.
So, okay, Blue Zebra, a song about a one-night stand was an ad for Jesus, and okay, wow, just wow.
Jesus, take the wheel. I don't have my license.
Okay, I'm going to end it on that. I'm sorry if I offended anybody. And the title is going to be RWBY Shifts and Dips, because I like it. Good night, everybody.
Aloha.